Well, ladies and gents, welcome back to Northeast Outdoors. Got a quick review video for you guys today. If you watch this channel, I told you guys I bought this new Eskimo ice tent. I wanted to use it for a bit, kind of see what it's like before I did an actual review video on it. I've had it for probably a couple weeks now. I've done plenty of day trips. I haven't done ice camping in this thing yet, but that's something I'm definitely gonna do at some point. But I am a huge fan of this tent. Eskimo doesn't sponsor me or anything like that, so very unbiased video. I'm gonna try and fit all the information that I wanted to know before I bought this thing into this video. I'm gonna talk a bit about the pros and cons at the end, try and give you guys a whole rundown of sort of a before you buy type of thing. So first things first, this is kind of my setup. I can't remember if this is the smallest jet sled. I'm pretty sure it is, but you can see here, this is kind of how everything fits in here. I put in my rod box, my camera gear, tackle box, sonar, auger, and usually I bring a lawn chair. Then I'll just kind of throw this tent on top and bungee it in. I really don't mind it kind of overflowing a bit. If you don't put a bungee cord on the sides of your sled, it's going to be a pain in the butt. You're going to have stuff falling off a lot. I used to not have a bungee cord and I would have stuff falling off all the time, but very cheap investment, especially if you're going to buy a $600 tent. Get a $5 bungee cord, save yourself a lot of hassle. But take this out right now for you guys. This tent inside of the bag, it's about 75 inches if you have this whole thing zipped up. I lost the button at the top, so I can't really close it in all the way, although it's kind of just fine like this. It doesn't really matter. You can see it's about as tall as me. It's marketed as 75 inches, which is 6'3". I can't even remember how tall I am. I haven't measured my height in quite a while. I think I'm about 6'4", so it's about the size of me. And see, it's also about the same width as me. It gets a bit skinnier towards the end. The bulk of the tent kind of sits in the top up here, but it's really not bad. If you could imagine a person laying inside of wherever you need to fit this thing, that's about how big it'll be. It weighs around 50 pounds, which is a bit heavy if you're just one person. Two people could take turns dragging this thing and it's not horrible, as long as you either have skis on the bottom of your sled or if it's just ice, it'll be easy to drag. I recently tried to drag this thing through about a foot of snow, and with everything else in my sled, it really wasn't fun with all the weight. But if you have a snowmobile, this will be absolutely no issue. Comparatively to the Clam X600, that's about the direct parallel in tense is the X600. So again, this weighs about 52 pounds. The X600 weighs about 64. They're both 94 square feet of fishing area on the inside, and they're both kind of rated for the same amount of people. They're marketed for 5 to 6, 7 people even. If you're using one machine, one sonar, you can very comfortably fit 4 people. 2 sonars, I could maybe see 5 people fishing in here, but anything past 5, I think it's gonna start to get a little cramped. If you're not really fishing in here and you're looking to just have a spot to warm up while you're on the ice, you could have an entire party in here. I mean, with lawn chairs, you could probably fit like 8 people if you're just sitting in there. But with gear, I'd say 4 to 5 people is the most I'd comfortably be able to fish in with this. Inside of the box is obviously the tent, and you get your screw pouch. This comes with 9 screws, nicely aligned, and then also inside of this, you have your wind straps, which you use if the wind's blowing too hard and one of the sides of your tent keeps popping back in. You can use one of these screws to then screw that strap into the ground, attach it to the side that keeps blowing in from the wind, and then just cinch it so the wind can't blow it in anymore. I used to have the Quick Fish 3, and that was a big issue. It did not come with wind straps. I'm very happy to see that this one does, because that was a pain in the butt to deal with. But I'll set this thing up for you now. Just run through the setup real quick. It's very simple. And I'll talk a bit about the interior and some more features of it once I have it popped up. Now on the outside of this bag, it comes with these Velcro straps that go all the way around it. All you need to do is unzip those. They stay attached to the bag, they're sewn in, so you just kind of take it out of that little loop. You got 3 of them. Undo all of these. It also comes with this handle that's Velcroed into itself. You just have to unlatch that. And I usually just Velcro it back up so it doesn't keep opening. And again, my loop came off. I think there's supposed to be a knot tied between the 2 string sides up here, but mine came undone. But you have that little clip that slides down this and holds this compact. You just gotta pull that off, make sure the string's out of the way. Then I like to grab the skinny end away from the opening, lift it up at a bit of an angle, just kind of shake it out. And then there's your tent. Now it comes inside of the tent bag is your door pulls. This is for your no trip door. if you kind of want to prop it up. I don't even use them. I don't think you really even need them. But if you like a stable door, these are good. Also comes with a manual, which, I mean, no one ever reads manuals for anything, but it's useful to have. And then this is a huge thing that I like about this tent. You got one more Velcro strap that can go around the outside of this tent that cinches it down. This one pops off. It's not connected like the one on the bag. Whenever I'm using this, I'll take this Velcro strap and I'll throw it inside the bag with the poles. That way you don't lose it. From here, you can see you have your pole hubs. There's a bunch of them laid out. I like to just take the tent, spread these out. I like to be careful here because with my Quick Fish 3, I was playing a little rough with it and one of the pole hubs ended up snapping. So if something doesn't want to budge, don't force it too much. It's probably not meant to budge. I usually lay mine out so it looks something like this, and I'll grab one of these corners, just pull the whole thing down. And from there, you can follow up to the next corner. And you'll see this side kind of exposes itself. I'll take this, just pull it, and that gets one side started. Then you kind of just keep unfolding and moving along. You got 5 of these pole hubs to pull out. Once you got all these spread out, I like to find where the no trip door is. There's no poles that go into this, so I like to just spread it out in the first place. This will come in on itself until you pop the roof open, so don't worry about that. Just unzip this, go into your tent. You'll have this hanging down right here. You can just get under it and push it straight up. Open up your windows for some light. That's pretty much it for the setup. I'll kind of make sure none of the corners are like folding in on itself. Push them all out. But that's pretty much it for the setup. This no trip door has a Velcro strap that can go right here to the side. Holds it open for you, nice and convenient. Now, I'll show you guys inside this thing. And this is the great thing about your no trip door. You can just take your sled, bring it right in here. I'll usually just put it on the wall right next to the door. I'm just gonna set this thing up like I usually do if I'm normally ice fishing. So camera, I'll put over here. Actually, camera's over here, being silly. Drill my transducer hole. Drill my fishing hole. Then just get my lawn chair. This goes right in this corner. And I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but there's plenty of space. You could probably fit 4 or 5 more lawn chairs just along that wall. I drilled my fishing holes a bit too far away, but you get the point. Now these walls are all insulated and I don't have a heater, so that is a huge plus for me. If it's cold out and I'm about to stay in a spot for a very long period of time, I'll dig all the snow out from inside the tent, chuck it outside, set this tent up in like kind of a trench, and then I'll dig the snow a little bit out from the corners and chuck it onto the edges of the tent, and that really just compacts and insulates this whole tent. And usually my body heat will get this warmed up within about like an hour, hour and a half. Especially if there's sun, the sun will just hit this tent and everything inside will warm up, and it's very nice. If you have a heater, that's not even an issue. You'll be able to run that heater for like 30 minutes. It'll be warm in here, and this thing can hold in the heat pretty well, so you won't even need to use it for that long. If you're looking to ice camp in one of these, you got plenty of room to lay a cot along one of these walls, be able to sleep there. You can have all your rubber padding on the floor. You have enough room to put like a table or whatnot, whatever you need in here, and you can just have like a whole fishing station. So I mean, this thing will give you plenty of room to do whatever you need in it. I'm tall enough to stand up and not even hit the roof of this thing. I think it's 84 inches in the middle, 85 maybe, which for me, that's huge. In the Quick Fish 3, I wasn't able to stand up at all. I had to like crouch under it. Pretty sure the Clam X600 is these like same exact specs as this one besides the weight. You'll be able to see on this GoPro if I'm standing right on the edge of this door. I mean, sit here and look around. I mean, there's plenty of room to do everything in here, so no shortage of room. Now, getting into the pros and cons of this. Some of the cons that I've noticed, definitely the weight is a big one. If you're solo or going with 2 people, something like the Eskimo 450, it's probably more your speed. It's a little bit lighter. You don't need to drag that whole 52 pounds out. Now you will have a little bit less room, which is a give and take, but I think it would be worth it if you're just coming out with yourself or another person. That would be completely fine. Another con is the price. I mean, for a tent of this caliber, you're gonna be paying the same amount of price. It's just unfortunate that you need to pay so much to have like a very high quality tent, but at the same time, I can understand. The Clam is about $650 retail. I'm pretty sure this one's the same. I got mine on sale for about $550. Sometimes they drop down to about $500, which I think is a pretty good deal for this tent. But it's gonna depend on what your budget is. It's also gonna depend if you want to insulate it or not. If you're getting it uninsulated, I'm pretty sure it's a bit cheaper. But at the same time, it's gonna be a little bit colder in your tent. Now on the pros, obviously the first thing is just the space. I mean, I'm always filming, I always have camera gear, a bunch of stuff that I have to bring with me. And this thing very comfortably fits me, my tripod, sled, gives me plenty of room to work with the fish and my transducer. And I mean, I still have a ton of open space next to me, so absolutely plenty of room in here, which I think is a huge plus. I don't think you can really ever have too much room, but you will be paying for that price in weight, so that's one thing to keep in mind. Another pro from the Quick Fish 3 that I noticed like immediately is that there's some really heavy duty hubs on these things and the poles are thicker. When you're setting this up, I really like to just yank it and like pop the things out. With these thick poles and heavy duty hubs, I mean, the thought of breaking them doesn't really even cross my mind. With my Quick Fish 3, these were a bit thinner and I felt like I needed to be a little more careful with it. But I mean, obviously there's limits to this thing, but it's nice to just have that peace of mind that when you're setting it up, nothing's gonna just break out of nowhere. Also, for the most part, fishing by myself, and I find that this tent is actually almost easier to set up than my Quick Fish 3. You just have more like fabric to work with, more space. Literally all you need to do with this compared to the Quick Fish 3 is pop out one extra side and that's it. It's pretty much nothing. And on the outside, there's 6 screw inserts. You only really need to do 4, to be honest with you. You can do all 6 if it's really blowing out there, but again, it's like very minimal work to set it up for what it is, and the tear down is just as easy. One of the biggest things that I've noticed is number 1, that strap that you use to cinch it once you tear it down. That helps tremendously with getting it into the bag. The Quick Fish 3 was a bit of a tight fit into the bag that it comes with. Sometimes I wouldn't even set that thing up just because I was dreading trying to squeeze it back into that bag, but they give you that strap to cinch the actual tent in, and then the bag that they give you is actually pretty well oversized, so it makes it super simple to just kind of shove this thing in there. You can stand it up and kind of yank it up. I'll show you the tear down process after, but I think that is a massive benefit because I would spend way too much time trying to get that Quick Fish 3 back into the bag. But this thing is nothing. If I wanted to time myself, I could probably fully set this thing up and then tear it down, get it back into the bag within like 15-20 minutes, which it's really just nothing for what it is. Other than that, it comes with these straps up here. I'm not really entirely sure what these would be for because it's kind of just a big open triangle and it only closes once you get down here. I usually put my sunglasses on the edge of that. Not really exactly sure what the purpose for it is, but they're a little helpful. You also got these pockets in the side right here if you need to store some stuff anywhere. And if you're doing a good amount of ice fishing at night, there's plenty of height to be able to like hang a lamp off the top hub up there, kind of light up this entire place. I think really this is just a great all-around tent. It has pretty much anything you'd ever want out of an ice shelter, especially if you get it insulated. I mean, it's not really anything to complain about. But I'm going to show you the teardown process real quick, just so you can see kind of what it takes, how hard/easy it is. And especially if you have one of those tight fitting bags, you'll want to see how it fits into that bag because it's amazing. But I'm going to drag all my stuff out of here and I'm going to break this thing down. Now, once you're at this point, you have all your sides folded in. You kind of want to pull one side down so the top's facing you. You're gonna need to kind of step on your tent. Don't step on the sides where the poles are, step right in the middle. And you just grab this and you really want to shove it in, just like that. And the whole thing will collapse on itself. I like to walk to where the no trip door is over here, grab the bottom, then just bring it up, and it should kind of just fold back in on itself like that. From here, just look at your pull hubs, kind of pull them to the side, make sure everything is pretty symmetrical. And then right here, I'll grab one corner, pull it just a little bit away from where you drilled your holes so you're not getting wet while you do this. And then, before you start folding everything up, you want to go back to your tent bag, grab that strap before you start folding everything up. You grab your corner, kind of fold it into where the hub is, keep folding it. And what I like to do is kind of just pick it up, put it on top of itself, and keep rolling it over. Keeps it nice and compact. Makes it very easy for that strap to do what it wants to do. It's like making a burrito. Just again, don't force it too much. You never want to break a pole or something, because that sucks. Now, once it looks something like this, you're gonna want to take your strap, have it so the Velcro right here, flip it upside down so it's on the snow, and then just kind of pick up under the tent, grab your Velcro, kind of swing it back and forth till it's up towards the top. You don't need to put it all the way up. I like to just get it up there a little bit. You're gonna want to sit on this thing like you're riding a horse. You can fold up the tip of this, put it through that ring, pull it tight just a little, and then I like to have gloves on for this part. You can get your hand into that front loop, hold on to that loop, make sure your strap is up where you want it to be, get it onto the Velcro portion down past this little sewing part, and you can put your knee on it right here and just give it a good pull. Do that a few times, and you should end up with a little bit of room like so. You can roll the tent over. If there's too much snow on the Velcro, just kind of rub it off, and strap it down, make sure it's tight. There you go, it's all cinched up. Now all you gotta do, get your bag, lay it out flat away from where your tent is, then just put it under the skinnier part. I would always do the skinnier side first because it's gonna be a lot easier just to slide this in, but slide it up. Make sure your bag doesn't get stuck on any of your hubs. You're gonna probably need to pick it up and keep sliding. I'll go back and forth to each side a few times just to make sure it's going evenly. Slide it up. You can roll the tent over too. Just keep going. Once you get up to about this part, just grab onto the top of the bag, stand it straight up, and just keep grabbing each side, kind of lifting it up and jiggling it in there. And eventually, this whole thing will go over the entire tent. Don't know when my camera died, so my audio might be crap for a minute, but once you get this whole thing in the tent, you want to pick it up so the handle side is facing upward, and grab your Velcro straps. I like to start at the thickest part, just make sure the Velcro is laying flat across the whole thing. And same process, just pinch the top, get it into that ring, then you kind of just kneel on it, pull it up nice and tight, and you can roll your tent over, strap it in where it reaches all the way, and you just do that 2 more times for your other ones. Then once you're at the end of this, open up this little Velcro part, put the other handle strap next to this, fold the Velcro in, and there you go. Is your whole tent packed up. Now I just load this thing into my sled, get my bungee, clip it on to both sides, and that is pretty much it. Now, just some closing remarks here. Some things you'll want to think about before you buy this thing. A, do you want to spend the money, buy a big tent, or do you want to downsize, or maybe buy one that isn't insulated? Save a little bit of money. Personally, I'm very happy with the money I spend on this thing. I'm happy I went with a bigger one, spend a little more money. I'll probably never need to buy another tent again, unless this thing gets destroyed or stolen or something. In the same breath, would you rather get a smaller tent, have less weight to pull around, like I said earlier, I like to be able to fit all my camera gear and everything, have a nice long distance between me and my camera, gives a good shot. But if you're not filming, I honestly think something like the 450 would be better, especially if you're solo or a duo. You don't really need all that room. If you want it, by all means, go ahead. But you can save some weight on your sled if you're dragging. If you're on a snowmobile, you don't really need to worry about that. You can put 200 pounds on the back of your sled and have it be nothing. Lastly, this is one some people don't think about, but you need to be sure that this thing's gonna fit in your car. If you have a truck, you don't really need to worry about that. I have a Honda Element, and all of my gear originally, I would just fold down my back seat and my sled, everything fit perfectly right into the back. I would only have to fold down one seat. With this tent though, I have to fold down my seat and then I'll have to slide it between my driver's side and my passenger side seat. And it kind of sticks out as far as my armrest will go. So that kind of sucks. It doesn't really bother me at all, but if you're in some type of SUV, you just need to make sure you have the room to accommodate that tent. Other than that though, I think that's pretty much it. Very, very good tent. Super happy I spent the money on it, but I just want to make this video in case any of you are curious about anything. I know I was before I made this investment. So I hope I answered some of your questions. If you still have any more questions, feel free to comment them and I'll respond as fast as I can. I think right now as I make this video, they're still on sale for about $550, so it's a good deal. I'm sure if you wait till after this season and wait till like spring, summer, or something like that, they'll probably be on sale for a little bit more. I know a little bit before Christmas, they were on sale for about 500-ish. So whether you want to wait or if you want to get it now to finish the last half of this ice fishing season. Either way, hope this video helped you out. If you liked it, make sure to leave me a like. Helps me out a ton. And if you're new here, make sure to check out the channel. I post a ton of fishing stuff, ton of ice fishing, hunting, everything that involves Northeast and the outdoors. But thank you guys again for watching today's video, and I'll be seeing you on the next one.